Hello, gorgeous entities that you are. Today I want to talk about money and power and the way that money and power corrupt, and just some thoughts that I've had on that. Tell you all about it on the other side. So look, we know, as a science, trust the science, as a science, that the people who are ruling the world, these politicians, the people behind the politicians, and just anybody who's in power, is a low-life, stinking, dirty, monkey bastard, right? We know that. But why? Why are there these kinds of people? Why do these kinds of people get drawn to these positions? Well, because in this world, in this 3D world, which is ruled by Satan, the devil, Old Nick, Lucifer, whatever you want to call him, he only has two things that he can wield. As a power, he only has two things, which is power and money. Power and money. And we've seen over and over and over again how power and money corrupt. And they corrupt to an extreme degree. People who have power want more power. People who have money want more money. I remember reading a biography of a millionaire, multi-millionaire, and he was interviewed, and the question was, now that you've made your first million, what do you want to do? And he said, I want to make my next million. Okay, that's kind of the place that we live in. Power and money, which corrupt. And so where is power and money to be found? Well, it's in those levels, isn't it? The leaders, the politicians, the actors, and either fame or power or money, whatever. Yeah. So all of those levels have no place in where we're going. Those levels of power and money and that corruption has no place. There's no place for it. Why? Because it belongs to the dark. It's the dark. Yeah. And so my thoughts on this were, as we move forward, and if we're going to move forward into the golden age, into the wonderful time, there can't be any place for power and for money. Certainly not in the form that we know it now. Yeah. It can't be there. Why? Because power corrupts and money corrupts. Lots of it. So something's going to have to change dramatically. And I know there's lots of people talking about how money's going to change, and the quantum financial thing or whatever. Yeah, there's lots of talk about it, but there's lots of talk about lots of things, isn't there? But what's clear to me is that there can't be any place for that. That old paradigm can't go forward. Something is going to have to radically change. So for example, with money, what if we got to the point where money didn't matter anymore? Where money wasn't something that had power? Okay? Imagine, for example, living in a place where money was meaningless. It just did a job. Ultimately, all money is energy, isn't it? We convert our physical energy or our mental energy into cash, and then we spend that. Yeah. So what if money didn't exist in that way? What that would mean, imagine there are two sources that the devil has, yeah? Two sources to get to you. Make you feel powerful or make you rich. So if that money source was gone, imagine everybody was rich. Everybody had access to money. So if that was the case, then nobody could use money to influence. So, for example, Bill Gates, right? Here's a classic example. Bill Gates, at the moment, is a man of great, great power. Why? Because he's got tons of fucking money. He's loaded, and more so now after the plan/demic that he organised or helped to organise. He didn't organise it all. I don't think he's that clever. But he was there. He was in the band. Yeah. Imagine him where money had no influence on people. what would he be? What would Bill Gates be if he didn't have money to wield, or he had money but it didn't matter? Then all he would be an old, weird, boring man with man boobs. That's all Bill Gates would be. He would be a nothing. He would be a meaningless nothing. He's only a something because of the money that he has. And then imagine a time where there are no positions of power. Positions of power don't exist. Remember, positions of power are conferred. They're given by the society, by the structure, and also by the media. The media decides who's powerful and who isn't. Yeah? And who runs the media? The same people who are powerful. Yeah, so it's kind of like it's being in the club, isn't it? You know, we are powerful and we'll get everybody to believe that we're powerful. But imagine that all of that goes away. So what will take the place of power, a power position? The only thing that would be left would be people who are admired. People who are admired because of what they do. People who get acclaim for their acts. Yeah. For what they actually do, not for the position that they find themselves in. If there were no positions like that, and it would have to be, you would be judged on your behavior. How about that? So what would happen is let's be honest, politicians, if politics didn't exist, politicians would be good for fuck all. I mean, they are the most useless people that I have ever heard talk. First, I don't hear intelligence. I really don't. What I hear is the ability to produce a diatribe of meaningless words. There's no intelligence there. They have no ability. I don't think that a politician could pick up a screwdriver and know which way to turn it to open up a screw, to undo a screw. So politicians have no value, certainly where we're going, because they only have value because of the position that they're in. No position, no value. They're going to have to learn some new skills. Yeah. So that's kind of where I see us going, where it's going to shift, whereas money is matterless and power doesn't exist anymore. Yes, I'm sure there'll be important people, for sure. We create important people by saying, wow, this is somebody who knows what they're saying, and this is somebody who is doing good works. That's, for me, a person of importance, but not a person of power, because power is wielded, and nobody's going to have that position to wield power, because we have the power. Yeah. So I think we're going into a really interesting place. What I'm aware of is this, that there's a big portion of the awakened community that is putting all hope on politicians. Like, I don't know, I'm looking at a lot of the kind of the groups, the Telegram groups, and they're talking about the political situation in America, the political situation in the UK, how the Conservatives should be out because they're doing this and doing that. I'm thinking, do we honestly think that if we change one group of politicians for another group, do we honestly think that that's going to resolve anything? No. Oh, some people think that. I don't. Why don't I think that? Because I know that they are dirty, low-life, stinking, monkey bastards. And we can't change that. It's, if you chop their arm, you chop them in half, and you look like a stick of rock, it'll have dirty, low-life, stinking, monkey bastards. It'll have it all inside. That's what they are. A zebra doesn't change its stripes. Is that right? No, it's a leopard that doesn't change its spots. And a zebra probably can't change its stripes unless you mate it with a donkey. Yeah, and then weird things happen. But other than that, so I don't know whether, I certainly am not placing my faith in a group of people that have a historic, precedent of being horrific and being stupid and being selfish and not caring about people. I don't know. And I know there are some good ones. I know that Trump, when he came in, he did wonderful things, but he didn't change the world, did he? He didn't stop all the badness. So Even, I mean, he was the president of the United States, but he had limited power. So what that shows is that the whole structure is faulted. The whole structure is wrong. Yeah, that needs to go. And what we need to do is to have sovereignty of ourselves and choose our own destiny. Yeah, so dirty low life, stinking monkey bastards out, beautiful humankind in. I think that's where we've got to be. So I think we need to stop putting our faith in anybody except us and God. Ourselves and God. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah? I think if you stick with that and just keep rolling along, just keep going and keep manifesting into your life what you want and keep putting the right vibes out, we're going to be fine. Let's not count on anybody coming to save us. And certainly not those kind of people, because they can't even, they couldn't find their own arse if they had a blindfold on. They're not that good. They really aren't. Yeah. So there we are. I shall leave that with you. I love you all. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you all next week.